Hello everyone, it's Marie from Skeletorama again. Welcome back to my channel. How is everybody? So I'm doing good because in this episode we get to do some construction. Aww. So we are finally going to start on constructing the core of the dollhouse. So the floors and the walls are going to start to go up in this one. And so I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so got everything painted. So again, this is the ceiling. And we've got the house color that's going to be the ceiling of the porch area. And then I changed my mind. I'm sure that will come as a surprise to absolutely no one. And decided I wanted to do the floor of the patio and the porch in the purple instead. I figured that would look a little bit brighter, so and tie in a little bit more purple to it. So I went ahead and did that. So that's how this will look. Everything else on here is going to be the hardwood floor and stuff. So we didn't need to paint any of that. Right, so next up for us is going to be putting this front, what do they call it? Front set, which is this right here. It's going to be putting this in place. And so it says to center it and use the dividers as spacers. Cool. But then I was looking at a later step in here. So in the next floor, what they have you do is they have you use front spacers so that you center this correctly. Since I'm absolutely paranoid that I'm not going to center it correctly, I thought, I wonder if I could use a front spacer for the bottom one too. And yes, you can. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this guy here. I'm going to go ahead and get the dividers in their spot here. So they're going to provide the back support for this. So just like we did last time, get it nice and lined up straight with the back. And I'm going to tape them down. I even saved the tape. So this piece here, and then get this lined up, get a piece over here. All right, so we're going to use this for our back. These are the front spacers right here. And so you would put one on one side, one on the other, and kind of this inside area here. Not in the bay windows, but this inside part. But it's kind of hard to tell where they are. So I thought, the difference between doing it on this floor and on the second floor is the sidewall's in place. So why don't we grab a sidewall? I'm going to grab some tape. And I might even get some of the tape off of here. So I'm going to get two fairly decent sized pieces of tape here for my little idea. So here is one of our sidewalls, okay? So I'm going to put it on here the same way it's going to fit. There's like a little lip that it fits on over here. I'm going to take the spacer and I'm going to put it here because this spacer has to fit, when you're attaching the walls, which is the next step we'll do after all this. This front spacer is used to help space your walls. So I'm going to press it right up against that, make sure that's nice and tight. I'm going to go ahead and put some tape right here. And I'll take this wall down. There's no way I can hold that wall and put this thing in place. Okay, so now I've got the front set, so I can put it in here. I'm going to put the back up to the dividers. I'm going to put the right up to that right spacer, making sure not to bump it too much because, I don't want to take any chances with it. And then I'm going to take this spacer and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to tape it down. And then I'm going to check my work. And you're not going to be able to see this, of course, because of the camera, but I'm going to take this wall, I'm going to put it in its place and make sure that that spacer ends up where it needs to be. And it looks like I may have knocked the other one over just a little bit. So I'm going to move this down. It's just literally, not even a 16th of an inch. It's just a tiny bit. Move this down, sit my wall over, scoot that over just a bit. Do the same with this spacer. And I'm going to check this wall again. Okay, and so this wall should fit right where it goes and right next to the spacer, which it does. Okay, so So that tells me that this is about as centered as I can get it, and it gives me a nice place to aim for. So when I put the glue on here, I know where this goes now, instead of going, okay, center it with that line. You can't see anymore because you painted over it, right? It's not gonna happen. Okay, so make sure our door opening is at the bottom. You'd be surprised. We're gonna put glue on this bottom surface here, and we're gonna set it down, and then I'm gonna find a heavy book or something to sit on top of it so that I can weigh it down, because before you go on to the next step, they tell you to wait to make sure your glue is kind of set, so that your pieces don't move around, because the next part is like one of those sort of chain things where you have to do 20 different things and you don't want to stop to get your walls in. And then I'm gonna have to figure out where this camera's gonna go, because you're not gonna be able to see anything once this wall's in here. So, but we'll figure that out. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it too. All right. So now we have our glue, and we're gonna set it here as close as we can to where we know it goes, and we're gonna press it down. I'm gonna take my paper towel here, and I'm going to get the extra glue up. Of which there is a decent amount, but that's good because we know it's going to stay in place then. Okay, and then they tell you to remove the dividers. We'll take our tape off, because they want you to get the glue that's squished out from the back, so you're not accidentally gluing your dividers down, and there's not very much in the back. So that, get the glue from the side. I'm gonna put my dividers back in place for a minute anyway, because the next step they have you kind of set it up a little more like normal, because you're gonna put the floor down. But the dividers, believe it or not, go in last. They go in after the house is completely built, so you'll be using them for a lot of things. All right, so this guy's good. This one's good. It's got a little bit of glue on it. Get the glue off the side. I'll put this back, so that way when I put the book on top, I don't want to knock it out of its place, because I do stuff like that a lot. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna go grab something heavy to put on top of here. These will be long enough though, and they should be heavy enough. I'm just gonna sit those on top of there, let it go, and then I will come back once this is set up, and we will start on the walls. So the glue is set up a bit better. It's not going to be completely done, ready to go or anything, but we are at the point now where we can start prepping to put the walls on, because that's the next step, is the walls and then that middle floor. So what they have us doing is they have us using the dividers as spacers and as support and that sort of thing. So we're going to take these dividers and we're going to tape them. We're not gluing them, we're just taping them to the wall here, and lining them up in the back just like we would if we were going to attach them, right? So that they can provide the correct space for everything to be on. So I'm going to do that first. Got these on here, and they're taped pretty good. We're not going to tape the top because we're going to be gluing something on the top. So we have a couple steps that we need to do. We need to prepare two, they said 16-inch lengths of tape. They're going to go on the top surface of this front set and the bottom surface. That's what's going to come around and hold the walls here. Okay. We'll also be using these spacers as part of that. So they'll go here. And then we have the gable triangles. I think that's why they gave us two, because I only see one actually used in the house, but we'll be using these, and these are going to be back this way. Hopefully you can see that. Let me check camera. Not very well. Okay, let me scoot this out a bit. There we go. That's better. Okay, so this is going to be sitting here for us to help glue and hold that wall in place while it dries. So we're going to make sure we've got everything we need before we start this. The way they have you doing it is basically getting one wall on and getting all the tape and everything in place and checking it, making sure everything's good, getting the other wall on, and then you're going to put the middle floor on. So they tell you to put your glue in the bottom and the middle rows. I'm not going to put it in the middle because I don't really trust myself to get that done quick enough where it's going to start to dry a bit. So I'm going to put it in the bottom and get the bottom set up and all that good stuff. And then once I get them both set up, I'll just put glue on the middle floor itself, I think, or I'll squeeze the glue in there at that point. Okay, so what we'll be doing is this wall here is going to go on there, okay, like so. It's going to have this front spacer is going to be between this and this, okay, and that's what's going to be taped with one of the pieces of tape. The other piece of tape is going to go down here, and then the gable triangle will be here holding this square. Okay, so that's the plan. Let's see how it goes, shall we? Okay, so I'm going to basically fast forward through it just in case something goes awry. That way I'm not swearing all over the place because I would. So okay, I think I'm ready. Hopefully you can see this pretty good, and then I'll have to, you know, turn it around to work on different parts of it. But okay, again, since this has a notch here and a notch here, if you're not paying attention, it's easy to get the wrong way. Make sure that your clapboards, the siding is going down, okay, so it matches everything else. So this is the right way to have it. So this is my bottom angle. I actually set that there and put my glue on it. All right, let's go ahead and get our tape ready like they said for us to do. Great. 2 pieces of tape there, 2 pieces of tape there. Let's see, I'll sit this here. I'll sit this here. So I'll do this wall first. Now, even though I am going to take a little extra time with it, I'm not going to stop until I've finished putting the mid-floor on. So that is where I'm going to stop. I'm just going to not put it on here on this step just to buy myself a little extra time. So there's that part there. That's a pain in the butt. They are correct to do with one person. So let's get the floor on. So here is our second floor. So I'm going to put it in this way. I'm going to slide it into that one and push it down and slide it into this one while I'm holding this one to make sure this wall doesn't go anywhere. Easier said than done. So I'm going to put glue on these center gaps here and on this front piece here. Okay, so at this point, you're going to put tape right here, holding this floor down to those dividers in the back. Whoop. And then at any joint points, right? So right here and right here, where these go together, we want these together really good. We want to make sure this stays very, very flat to the wall. So I'm going to get a big, huge piece of tape. I'm going to start here. Excuse the head. Hopefully you guys can see. Okay, I'm going to start here. I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to try not to get my hair in it, which is hard when you have long hair. I'm going to push that, and I'm going to put as much pressure as I can going all the way around. Okay. Do the same in the front. Which is a little more difficult because of course you got these weird bits here, but we're going to bring this around to this. It's about the best we can do there. Well, no, we could probably get it all the way around. It'll just look weird. So I just went a little bit above the floor here, and yeah, that worked. Okay, lamp out of my way here. Okay, so now I'm going to take the rag and I'm going to go around, and I'm going to go under this wall. Okay. All right, so it has some different places for you to take a look at to make sure everything's lined up. So it's here and here, here and here. I would look here and here. Just look at everything and make sure everything is very flat to where it's supposed to be. It's meeting up exactly. It's pulled as tight as you can get it. Okay. Get this stuff out of the way here. So I'm going to turn the house this way, and I apologize, it'll make it really hard for you to see, but that way I can see the front. Oh, and make sure everything is the way it should be. Okay, so that is the sides and mid-floor. So I'm going to leave this for quite some time before I go messing about with anything else on here. And I will see you guys in a while. So it is the next day and I've taken all the tape off. I've taken the dividers out because now we're going to put on the next one here, the next front set. So what I'm going to do is same thing we did on the other one. I'm going to use dividers here as spacers. I'm going to line them up real good and we will tape them to the back. All the tape. Okay. So this is the step that got me to thinking about that other one, because this is the one that has you use the spacers. So go ahead and put one of those in and we'll tape it down. And then we're going to put this in here. And then check that our other spacer fits, and it does. And then I also want to make sure that it's lined up with the one below it as well, and it is. So same process as before. Gonna put glue on this bottom surface here and set it down. And then the next step after this will be doing the top floor. And then I'm gonna have to figure out some sort of other camera thing for the rest of it, because this angle is just not gonna work. I have the camera actually sitting on the addition to the Allison Jr. currently. Really the only high enough spot. Okay, so get your glue, nice layer of it on there. Some of that extra from there, put over here. All right. Okay, so just like with the other one, we're going to take this. We're going to place this down gently and carefully in its spot. Make sure it's perfectly level with the front. Press down real good, come along with the rag, and clean up these edge bits here. Especially in the corner. Corner's the hard part to get into. Okay. And just like with the other one, I'm going to pull my dividers off, or at least away from it. Clean up the glue on the back. And set these guys back in place. We're gonna let this set up a little bit, and then we will do the top wall, which will be more or less the same way we did the other ones. Use the head there. No other way to get to that. All right, spacer back. This one will be a little easier because we've already got the walls, you know, glued in. So with this, we can glue. No, we cannot glue. We can, you know, tape the spacer in here first. It's going to be a lot less tricky because it's just going to come down and sit down on top of it. So, okay, I will see you guys back here in few minutes when this is set up enough. So this should have time to set up enough that it will do what it needs to do. So I'm going to take the tape off of these. I'm just going to set them here because we're going to use them again in a second. So just like with the last one, it has you take the dividers and tape them up because they're going to act as a support for your floor. So I love when I'm looking for the tape that's sitting right in the middle of the table with nothing anywhere near it. Okay, so I've got my dividers here, so I'm going to do the same sort of thing. Put them here. So let's do this one first, it'll be a little easier. Okay. So just like the last time, come over here. Actually, I should do this from the back, shouldn't I? That might be smart. line this up. That kind of come around here. So I know it's anchored pretty good. Get my tape on. And then I want to line the dividers up with the back too so that they're nice and straight. This is also a way to check that, you know, you did this right? Okay. There's that one. And we'll do this one. You can tell my coffee hasn't kicked in yet. All right. Wow, that's so not straight, but that's fine. Just the tape, the divider is straight. And so this time we can take the spacers and we can tape those in first, which will make life much easier. So I'm going to take a decent sized length of tape, put my divider there. I'm just going to go ahead and put my tape real good on the divider. And then I'm going to put this down just a little bit because you don't want it to interfere with the taping of the top. Wow, words are my friend. Okay, so I have this nice in here and it's nice and seamless. Okay, do the same thing with this one. Big old piece of tape. It's just harder because the way I have to have this sitting so that y'all can see it. Yeah, I can't quite get to the wall terribly well. Okay, sorry about my head being in the way here. So, and then make sure this is nice and straight, and it is. Okay, so we've got these here. So now we're going to dry fit, always dry fit things. Did I do what I think I did? No, I didn't. Oh, Jesus. I thought I painted the wrong side for the ceiling. God, okay. So this is going to go on here like so, okay? And then when we go to tape it, I'm going to take this out just a little bit so I have a little bit more wiggle room. You know, we're going to do it the same way. We're going to line everything up. We're going to tape, you know, here to the front. We're going to tape across because you really need this tension going across this whole top, okay? And we'll put a weight right here on this front set. You don't want to put too many weights in different places like here because you can actually push your wall out. So just like before, we are going to put glue on this front set. We make sure to wipe off these dividers so we don't accidentally glue those in place. And then we're going to put glue here along this top edge and this top edge. Okay, so I'll put it on fast forward while I do that because I tend to go kind of quiet when I'm concentrating, which makes for great riveting content, doesn't it? So here we go. there we have it. Death of my tape roll, which is fine, I gotta back up. And a bunch of tape holding this on. So I have it spanning the entirety from here to here, all the way across to make sure that these walls stay nice and even and tight to this top here. Anywhere there's a joint, I made sure that it's lining up the way it should, that everything's nice and level, and that I've got tape on there. So this should be good. So we're gonna let this dry completely. And we will move on to the next steps, one of which I believe is this gable roof that comes out. So with that piece, since a lot of it's going to be inside the room, I went ahead and painted the bottom of it white too, like a ceiling. Some of it will stick out over the bay windows. We can worry about that when it's done. I can touch it up with some of the exterior paint, so not worried about that. And we will have a couple spots like here. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but this has not been painted, so this will be the exterior paint anyway. So we'll go touch up some of that stuff at a later step. But anyways, I'll see you guys back when this is done drying. All right, so we are going to stop there for episode 6 of the series, and we will continue on in the next one doing the gable floor. We're going to start on the bay windows, attic wall, that kind of stuff. So see you guys then. Piano Clave. Bye.